You're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com presents Catherine B. and the Echo Revolution, a call to action for those who know things need to change. From what connects us to nature to how we eat and live, every choice we make can create symbiotic living on Earth. Green consciousness is a revolutionary shift in paradigm to heal our planet and our personal well-being in this generation. Be a part of the shift that is happening. And now, here's Catherine B.
Hey, Green Comrades. Welcome to Catherine B. and the Echo Revolution. I'm so happy to be here with my guru and dearest friend and, oh my God, adventurous woman, Sharon Sombrick. And it's so nice to have you here. Welcome.
I'm so happy to be here. We did it. Yay. Thank you.
Sharon is so many things to me. We're going to get into that in a second. I want to say hi to George. Hi, George.
Yo, yo.
Hi,
Hey,
George.
baby.
Did you explain to Sharon that my role on your show is comic relief?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm here to crack wise.
Oh,
So-
and he's smart as a whip, and he's a scientist, and he busts me on everything.
Aw, shucks.
Yeah, the world thinks I'm a vegetarian, but
But
Joe
I'm
made
not
it
saving the
clear.
world. Catherine is. So, there's more to, being a good person than just having scientific knowledge. You got to have a heart.
Whenever my
and care.
dyslexia kicks in, George is like, "You're trying to save the world. Who cares that you can't say the
Yeah,
word right?"
So talk backwards. What,
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
No.
So, well, we are in Miami, and we are in the beginning of the fall season. The wonderful fall equinox happened the other night, and we're beginning to feel the shift. And the shift in seasons is a huge part of my life because I feel very connected and work at being connected to Earth and to the seasonal pull. And one of the greatest things about it in Miami and all over is that we get a break from the heat and we get re-energized. And even though we don't have the falling leaves, we have a beautiful fall down here. And the most important part is that I'm starting the Wellness Warriors for Fall series. And this time, we do this 4 times a year. Sharon is a graduate of the summer program. And this year is only going to be a 6-week intensive. And I'm really excited, Sharon, to
Tell me about it. Tell us about it.
Well, the course is based with Mother Nature, and we always have Mother Nature and the seasons affecting us. And what I really believe in is that we can have all the technology in the world, but if we don't get into that green consciousness, that feeling of connectedness to Earth, to Mother Nature, we are missing our greatest guru. And even though you're an amazing guru, you're just a human.
I'm just a human. But can I say one thing?
You can say anything you want.
On what you're saying right now, it's what if I could say anything about you that I've never met in anyone is your connection to the earth. Is sometime there's never been one time I've been in
Namaste,
Catherine's
baby.
presence or Catherine's garden that I haven't learned something new, something wild. And usually there's some kind of insane chaos in all of the beauty going on that has to do
I have
with
a lot
life
of Kali energy.
that has to do with
Insane chaos?
that has to do with life and death, right? I mean, really,
Earth
it's-
is muddy. It is. It is a definite. It's not always picture perfect like people think. A garden should be. But when you work the earth, you do. You deal with a lot of soil and toil and mud and guts and.
But I mean, with you as well, you have the animals. There's always some little thing happening. Someone's born, someone's passing. I mean, really, those are the kind of things that are happening in your world every day. And you do it with such pizzazz and grace at the same time, and your dedication to the earth and earth consciousness. And now what I'm learning through you about sustainability has been tremendous. And
thank you
why I
so
wanted
much.
to do the course in the beginning, the Wellness Warrior course, was an incredible experience for me. And I was just recognizing that I'm going back to all my old habits. Like, George, thank you for the bee water. I have.
Well, she brought it. I just mixed it.
Well, it was here when I walked in the door.
Yeah,
That's all I
yeah.
know.
I'm a good host.
Yes, you are wonderful so far.
So for you guys that don't know what bee water is, it's my own little thing. And if anyone wants to get me on Shark Tank with it, that would be great.
I wouldn't go in there for
Yeah,
nothing.
No, that's not really my point. I have this belief that we can save the world and save the planet by drinking our nutrition and our proteins, and we don't have to rely on commercial agriculture and commercial animals to feed the 9 billion people that are coming around the corner. So the course is fun because we drink this water, and it's amazing because even though losing weight is not part of, everyone has a goal at the end of the course. A lot of the people want to lose weight, but it just kind of happens naturally, right?
Absolutely. A lot of things happen naturally. It's a beautiful way what you had put together. And every week was something that interested me, that challenged me. I mean, we were doing crazy calisthenics on the ground one week. I mean, the drinking the water. And even today, I just went back to, which I never did, was the probiotics that you drink,
Oh, okay. The kefirs.
The kefirs.
And all that.
And
yeah.
I mean, I've been really feeling like it's time. And that's when you got in touch with me. Like, I'm like, God, I'm going back to all the old ways after I did. I felt amazing after that workshop, during it, and after it. And it stayed. It stayed for a long time. And that was the cool thing about it.
I think that's what I love about it, because it's based on the 4 seasons, and no one is going to be perfect. We all start a diet or a change in life okay, I'm going to do this. But somewhere around week 2, we lose our motivation. And the reason that this course works so well is that everybody helps motivate, and not only helps motivate, but we kind of help really deal with some things. Like, you've been going through a lot this week. If you were in the course, we'd all be there for you.
But
it was a crazy week.
I did the right thing about it. Yeah. Just I relaxed, and I took it easy, and I rewarded myself, and I exercised, and I ate right, and I didn't do what I used to do, which was like drink or reward myself with something evil, like a pizza or something. The reason they call it comfort food.
We're going for pizza later.
It couldn't do its evil work if it wasn't so delicious,
right?
But it's only got 3 things that I shouldn't be eating: just bread, tomato sauce, and
when you know what's not good for you,
animal fat.
When you know what's not good for you.
I spent a lifetime eating that. You can't do that forever. I want to live a long time.
If you do this
for revenge.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think what's fun too is that when the course is usually 8 weeks, but actually we are going to begin the course the last week of October you have 3 different options. It's webinar based. It is live in South Beach during the afternoons, and then it is going to be in North Beach on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Mondays and Wednesdays. So if you go to www.catherineb.com, you can find all the information, and we're also offering an early bird special. So please go to the site and check that all out. But the reason that this getting disciplined and having other people to help you reach your goals, and doing an intensive and really bonding with these people. We're close, but after that course, I felt so many of the things that you were going through, and it's just so wonderful. And then,
it was amazing. It was intense, and with everyone we got to bond. I mean, Linda and I, we still are, in touch, and I had just met her, and what wonderful people that were involved. I mean, the people that gathered together to do something like this, there's a reason for it, and there's a purpose for it, and it really showed how we can support each other. And we did really support each other and kept in touch, and I'm still in touch with everybody.
Yeah, and one of the things that after the course, we all stray, we all go back to drinking or doing whatever it is, that little piece of bacon or all those things that are not necessarily bad, but they might not necessarily be what we really need to get to our personal best. And then we reconvene. So I'm offering all of you graduates a half price, which is going to be cool. So you can do it again, and it's going to be different levels.
Jonas
I know.
With us.
Hi, Jonas.
We hope you can be here soon.
Yeah, Jonas is in Sweden. What did he do? He did it's like a music.
It's like an MC of an entire. He has a dance studio there, and he's like the MC.
He became a
superstar
superstar in Sweden, but he was one of our wonderful graduates. So, we're gonna talk about also sacred geometry, which is a really big part of nature and a really big part of the course too, because we can use linear logical books and things like that all the time, but I find a lot of inspiration comes to me through the meditation or just the reflection of organic things in the world, like seashells and sacredness in space. So one of the things that we use is a yantra, which is a personalized mandala. And I have a little game for you guys. And if anyone out there wants to do it,
Yeah, we have our yantras.
it's not really a game. But one of the reasons that the yantra works really well is that, well, Sharon, if you'll just read the first week. First of all, the yantra is pointed to a season.
Well, the yantra, when we first sat down, and Catherine, when you went over it, it's in 8 weeks, which is
It's
eight.
also a very yoga vibe
Well,
that we have in this course.
It's a lotus flower. It has 8 petals. It has the star of David. What do you call that? I mean, what is that? The hexagon?
It's a Wicca
it's a
thing.
Star of David.
Star of
it's a
David.
hexagon.
It's also Wicca.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's 2 triangles over
It's the
each
2
other.
triangles overlapping. There's a lot of amazing geometry in this. And when Catherine, you started showing me what these 8 weeks were. So I'll say, let's just say number 1 is pointing towards the spring, and it says goals.
Well, now it would be pointing towards fall, and it will be goal setting. Like, what is your dream goal? What is your pleasure goal? What is the thing that you wake up and makes you happy? I know George loves palm trees and the beach, but we all have that thing that we sort of always try to attain. And we start with that, and we try to manifest that into a reality. Because if it's not pleasurable, you're never going to change. You know, everyone can deny themselves things for a long time, but the course is based on a pleasure principle, a tantra principle of I'm disciplining myself for a reason, and this is the first time it really feels good.
And the first week's the best because you get to do everything you want in excess, like
Yeah,
everything you
completely.
love in excess. And then she starts taking it all away slowly, but you do it willingly. It's
You're
it's
just
amazing.
so sick of it. You're just so sick of that extra pizza or that extra
Glass of
whatever it
wine,
is.
bottle of wine.
Yeah, those extra men in your
Whatever.
bed,
I hope not.
George.
I hope I don't get sick of that.
I've got my quota. Thank you. my man quota is full. It's full.
All right,
Yeah.
that's extra. It's extra
That's
right.
good. That's fantastic.
So anyway, when we meditate on these sacred symbols, we see sometimes a goal. Now, the difference in my course too, and what I've studied and really learned from nature and studying philosophy and everything, is that sometimes when we're too goal-oriented, we get a little too, I'm going to do anything, run over anybody. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this goal. And that kind of consciousness is not what always works for the best. So within this yantra of petals is what's called a bindi point. Like
A sound
That's
effects
bee
for
water.
the water.
Okay, so the bindi is you. It's the seed of your inspiration, right in the middle of a circle, and that circle represents Earth in the middle of these points. All right. So right above you is your pleasure point and your goal point, but around you, in that first week, we learn how to meditate. And I do a lot of guided meditations, and in those guided meditations, even though we think, I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to get that new job, in this meditation, sometimes things come up that surround your heart as to why you didn't do it or what is stopping you or why maybe this isn't your goal. So we look further in than just the goal. We look really at what we might miss intuitively and what is possibly missing in the inspiration of change.
I think a lot that shows up is what's blocking that
Yes.
goal. And it's not that you see the goal, you see what is keeping you from the goal. And you have to really look at that. And then you have all these people around you to help you and all the beautiful meditations and guidance and unbelievable amounts of knowledge that you bring into the table, Catherine, is tremendous. And it really helps you to, I know my goal changed like 4 times just by looking at it and realizing that that's not really what I wanted.
Yeah, that's part of the journey. It's
Yeah.
like we think we're setting these goals, and all these other things do happen as we keep going forward. We're going to move on, but basically every single week. So if you're having any problems on audience, you can just go 1 to 10. Okay, so Sharon's going to name the 8 petals, and I just want you to put 10 being you're a rock star, like just absolutely perfect, and 0 being, or 1 being, you need some work. If you come in anywhere under a 7, you might want to take the course because you might want to put some energy into that part. So, George, are you going to do this challenge?
I can write on this?
Yeah, you can write on it.
Woohoo, yeah.
All right. So the first one is goal setting. Can you read it, Sharon? What does it say?
Do you want me to read from? Okay, so it's just goals and obstacles, dream point. That's number 1.
Your dreams. You got to write your dream, write your goals, write your obstacles. And are you there, George? Are you a 1 or a 10?
Lordy.
Okay, so you can think about that one. What's the second pedal?
So for number 2, it's energy and exercise,
Yeah.
the strength point.
Yeah, what are your strengths? What do you feel powerful about? And sometimes we realize in the course that while we're feeling super weak, we're stronger than ever. We lose sight that we're so strong as humans.
That was one of my lowest ones from it, and I find myself so strong since that course.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And I still pick up weights and do things and do crazy things that I wasn't doing before, and my body's never felt as strong as when I did that. And I walked in there knowing I have not been able to exercise the way I've wanted to. I have not had the energy that I had hoped I would have after a lot of things that happened in my life had cleared up. And the course was amazing. That was my low point, and right now I'd say it's up there high.
One of the strength points I use now is I've memorized almost my whole phone, which is pretty cool because of my eyes and also because, I want to be strong mentally. So I'm giving myself a 7. I like being strong.
I'd give a 7 too, and I did a lot of memory stuff too. My memory's been really good, which it was.
George, what's my phone number?
What's your phone? I don't have to remember phone numbers. My eyes are still working great. I used to before smartphones. I had a lot of phone numbers memorized.
Right.
I was really good at that.
Now, how are you supposed to remember?
What is sustainability?
I don't even know my own child's.
What is sustainability? It is being self-sufficient. So if we have to look at this little device, what did you say the other day?
Oh, the time machine. I have my own variation. You saw the original H.G. Wells, the only good one. A variation of it because in the movie, the plot, the movie, he goes into the future and then he comes back and he tells everybody because it's an anti-war movie, if you recall. He goes into the future and he comes back to warn the people from his time what the future has in store for them, and no one will listen to him. Well, in my version, he goes to our time, and he comes back and he tells everyone that the human race has been conquered by little black slabs of glass. That all that the people do is carry around these black slabs of glass and tend to it. When it makes a noise or vibrates, they tend to it.
Did you see that? When I was looking at the Pope that was here, and you saw the Pope going down, all you saw was everyone with their phones.
Yeah,
it was the craziest thing. I'm thinking that's all the Pope saw was these little black slabs of glass.
We're a mobility system. We're a mobility system for a black slab of glass. It tells you, I got into a car with one of these people. The black slab of glass told them which way to turn, and they obeyed it. They can be having a conversation, and if the black slab of glass makes a tone or lights up, they stop the conversation and tend to the black slab of glass. Really, humans have just become the legs for this black slab of glass. That's all we are. We move it around from place to place.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And do what it says.
So, absolutely. It's amazing. It's the truth.
It's a brilliant little machine, but it is not sustainable. So anyway, that's part of the course.
I look at it a little bit differently because let's not
let's go to week 3.
We'll talk about that another time.
Free us from paper because paper kills trees.
All right. Let's go to week 3. So give yourself a 1 to 10 audience, and then week 3 is
plants and nutrition diet point.
Yeah. Where are you at on your diet?
I'm going down right now on that. That's why I was ready for this again.
Yeah.
It seemed to be. I notice it big time when you start changing your diet back to what you were talking about earlier, George. Things that just don't feel good in your body, you really notice it, and you start to feel heavy and lethargic.
A car, when a car is new, you can put, bad oil and bad gas, but when it's not forgiving. It's not forgiving forever. You have to take care of it when it's older.
Absolutely,
so, if you want it to last,
for sure.
And the sooner you start, the better. The longer it lasts.
And what I love about it is how do you see food? I guess you could on this 1 to 10 question, like, do you see food?
Seafood. Where?
We like
I
seafood.
want some.
These two.
Me too.
You're not going to get to a point.
We have to see food as living beings, and we'll get into that later. Let's go to the next point. Okay.
Can I say one thing on that? Because
Absolutely.
one of the greatest things I learned was what she's saying about seafood. Catherine would say, if you're upset, right? If you're having an upset, if something's going wrong or you're not doing this, she'd say, look. She goes, even if you're in a parking lot, look for a living thing. Look for a piece of grass, a
Green
blade of grass,
consciousness.
green consciousness. Blew me away. I've always walked by and touched leaves of trees and asked them for their wisdom. And my whole life, as long as I can remember, I've been extremely connected to nature and in many levels. But I never took it to that level
Yeah.
of when I was super upset to stop and look at, something green anywhere I was. I used to have to go immerse myself. You showed me that you don't have to immerse yourself.
No, and
all you have
what-
to do is connect like that.
And the sacred science of it is that when we start seeing the green, we start seeing it. We stop manifesting more concrete, more asphalt, more human technology. And we start to hold the green as a, in that wonderment moment. I think it was Linda who saw a peacock, and she's like,
Yes.
I actually saw a peacock, and it changed how I wanted to drive, because it's like you get so awed away by nature, but we on a daily basis don't stop to see the green. We see all of the frustration of driving
Absolutely.
and all these other things, and that her point really goes to our food, to how we see food in this week. So thanks, I'm glad you like that. That is a fun part
still
of it.
stays with me. So
Week 5?
we have under 4 or up to 4.
Okay.
Focus and concentration. Discipline point.
How's your discipline, George?
I'm giving it a 7.
Good.
I have to
I'm,
say,
I'm doing
Impressive,
doing
George.
good.
That's
The
great.
things that are under my control, I'm controlling. So now, this is a new thing. Not so much 2 years ago. So
Well, we're going to get into when you hear Sharon's yoga history. It's going to, at the end of the show, is all about how this woman came to be. She's just so inspiring to me. But one of the things that we use when we talk about focus is using our energy and concentrating it. Tara asana, this whole star energy, this whole compacting of not wasting your energy on these trivial things and just beginning to find concentration so that we can find focus, so that we can find transcendence. And it is not as hard as it sounds, but it is definitely a discipline. And some beginning students, if you're writing your 1 to 10 and you aren't spending 5 minutes in just not thinking, not being, not praying, not just simply being with yourself, definitely need to put a 1 or a 2 because everyone needs it. And the faster this world goes, the more and more we have to find that inner stillness. So that's a
absolutely.
huge part of it.
I'm really impressed as we're going through this how my numbers are comparatively from the beginning from last time. I'm very impressed. I can see in retrospect
Yeah.
how much the course really, really lifted me up a lot. So number 5, we have me to be point.
Time. Be time.
Relaxation and rejuvenation. Thank you.
I'm just guessing.
I think it's that.
Also, it's that time where no one is demanding of you, whether it's children, whether it's running a radio station, whether it is being a landscaper and trying to finish by the full moon or whatever it is. It's those tiny moments, like where do you carve out your me to be time where you can just be anything, and you can do anything. You can watch Netflix, you can read a book, you can just relax, just be whatever you want, take up whatever craziness you want to. Nothing is wrong in me to be time except not having it. And I think that this is where most people take the course, because I think carving out our own personal time is one of the keys to having. Someone told me, that wealth is not just always about money, but it's about time. And if you can own 40% of your time, that you're actually a very wealthy person. So,
Yeah.
I like that.
No,
Yeah.
that's my best one right now, because I do allow myself me time and I relax a lot. And
That's fantastic.
I used to feel guilty about taking a nap, like I'm not being productive. I'm not, I can't afford to take a nap and everything. Now it's like, that person's going to jip me out of my nap today.
I'm
not going to let them jip
That's
me out of my
right.
nap
I'm
today.
all about
Like,
the nap,
nope,
too.
I'm busy.
Yep.
Busy
me.
means I'm
That's right.
scheduling my nap. I'm going to take a nap.
So
I'm gonna have
important.
lunch, and I'm going to.
It's like
It's a
cat.
beautiful
Like, lay
place to
down.
get when you
Sure,
get to that
and
place,
just,
George. That is such
yeah.
a beautiful place.
Yeah, I can now. Like
Yeah.
you know, and I mean, I'm on duty and I'm off duty, and when I'm off, somebody's head better be on fire or something. Or why are you calling
Absolutely.
me? You know.
Well,
Absolutely.
in this week, one of the things that we'll be learning is how to say no. I mean, especially as women or men, but really, we say
Just
yes.
women.
We say
Yeah.
yes. We're like maybe. We're like it's no. No is
Oh,
such
raising a child, that's
beautiful-
Time
Oh.
bandits. The time
the
bandits in
time
my life,
bandits.
I've got them almost
Yeah.
all out. You know, it's
Good.
like my daughters, they can have as much time of mine as they want, and clients, and that's it. I'm done.
and see the thing about these weeks is so cool because they're sequential. So when we find focus the week before, now we're trying to find me to be time. And like one of the things I found through doing my own course is that I get addicted to gardening, and I do it for a living, but I also can get so caught
Lucky
up
you.
with it. No,
Yeah.
it ruins my
Shit.
me to be time. It
Yeah,
ruins. It's almost like it's not a bad thing, and it's very good for me, but I have to be careful because it's almost like too much pleasure. It's like I could literally never send an email my whole day and feel normal, which is not true. So me to be means also a healthy time management, like, not stressing yourself by being an extremist about anything. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
okay, then
Okay, the next one's my favorite.
What is
Sleep and self-love. The Tantra point.
Yeah, self-love.
That's where I'm at right now.
Does that mean what I
That's
think it
it.
means?
Yeah, it does. It's a very
It can.
interesting point.
Because if it does, I'm putting a 10 down.
I think I'm right up there high with this sleep and self-love right now, too.
So, if you guys ever want to tap into my Tantra radio show on Hay House Radio with Jennifer Grace, Tantra, I teach it in a very unique way. The course is not about having to have a lover or Tantra being just this sexy energy. It's really about the expansion, the orgasmic feeling of knowing that there's more to this world, like that second of like, wow, this is just mind-blowing to be so alive. And it is that orgasmic feeling of just
Absolutely.
this like life is so bigger than just me being here, and
Worrying and
Yeah.
upset and this and that.
and we take our bedrooms and we take floor space, and we create these spaces just again to be, because a lot of Tantra is about breath, and the Tri in Tantra is the trilogy, but it's also about the oneness of yourself with yourself and self-love, and then knowing that you have the power, which I think so many women kind of lose after the kids and after
For
a
sure.
certain age, and after, you just kind of feel like, oh, I don't feel like I got to get my sexy back.
Yeah,
so
I'm not attractive like I was. Or it comes, and
Yeah.
especially after a certain age in children. They're two big points. I mean, I think you feel it even before, but you don't realize it as much until a certain
Yeah.
point.
And the thing is, we work about karma. Karma is the use of objects to enhance the senses. And it's really quite wonderful because candles and a lot of nature, a lot of flowers and incense, or whatever it is that you like. Maybe it's the ocean and sand.
I
and-
incorporate all of those. I'm a very
Shells.
conscientious self-lover, so I light the candles and incense and dim the lights, and I'm just
Romantic.
very romantic with myself. Yeah.
Nice.
And then how about sleep? How much of us get enough sleep? How much?
Me, I do now.
I'm beginning to for
'Cause
the
you
first
said it
time in
earlier-
my
You
life.
said earlier it's a wealth. There are different things in wealth. Like, what is the point of of having all of this money if you can't enjoy it? And what is
Right,
it that
exactly.
you are? What is it that
Dying
you
rich
enjoy? Because if I were really, really rich, I would enjoy naps. All right, and I would
Absolutely.
enjoy sleeping peacefully until I'm ready to wake up in the morning with no
My
alarm
favorite,
clock and everything.
too, but I have a
and I
child.
used to think that I would have to be rich to retire to be able to
Do that?
to have that, acquire that. And what is the price of that. How much is that worth? It's worth a lot. And
It's
so
worth a lot, yeah.
and it's worth a lot, but it's surprisingly affordable. You know,
It is, and once you
It's
do
an
it,
excellent
it's
value.
it has the value is incredible.
Yeah.
It's unlimited. My look forward to the days. I mean, my daughter's still in school right now, so I have to get up with an alarm. But I really look for space in my life, and one of the spaces are the days that I know that I can sleep in without an alarm.
Yeah.
That's luxury right now.
Sure.
It's a huge luxury.
Get up really early to commute, to spend an hour or so driving to where you're going to spend all day. It was just
tough.
like, never again.
It's tough.
I have
Yeah.
a 5-minute commute now.
But I find even
I was going to
that's
ask you to come
fantastic.
down to my neighborhood.
through palm trees.
Yeah, right.
Palm tree lane.
We can make the life we want, do what we love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really can happen.
Before we get into one other thing about the Tantra is, remember on the meditation week, we do this yoga technique called Pratyahara. How do you say it, Sharon? I always say
Pratyahara.
she studies Sanskrit, so
Oh,
she's an
don't-
expert on that.
Well,
But
I wouldn't say I'm
so-
saying that properly.
on that week, we actually deny our senses and we learn the discipline that we use so that we can enjoy the senses. So it's really fun because there's all these different extremes. But once you conquer one, then the other is like without discipline, Tantra it wouldn't be as exciting and just as enjoying the senses would not be as exciting if we never had the discipline of denying the senses. So there's always this wonderful balance. And coming to the last week, or when are we on? now?
We are at we have two more. We
Okay.
have sustainability and awareness, which is the eco point. That's 7.
Where are you at in your sustainability? A lot of times this point goes hand in hand with the food point. So, but it's also about recycling, stopping how you consume, seeing how you shop. Kind of a lot of ladies have issues with this week because they're definitely addicted to buying things and then they begin to see patterns through their sacred geometry.
Not just ladies.
It's not just ladies, yeah. I just met a guy that had like 5 cars and 2 motorcycles.
I also serve as sexism police on radio shows, not just comic relief, but we'll throw a flag on any sexist comment that I hear.
Okay. Nothing's wrong with 5 cars and 2 motorcycles. I don't think anything's wrong to a point. It depends on what we have and how we enjoy it and where it came from. I think greed is going to change something. There's a difference between having what you want because you manifested it, you want it, and you enjoy it, than being greedy and just taking things and with no value. And that's the word you used, George, was the word value.
Yeah.
Everything it has to do with value and coming from that heart space.
But sometimes sustainability could be maybe less is more so that you can use the more and apply it to something else.
I think less always is more, no matter how you look at it. But sometimes we need to, like you do in the first week. Sometimes someone has to commute for however long George commuted to realize I'm not doing that anymore.
An hour.
Yeah, and that's, if you didn't do that, would you be where you are now? I
It
mean,
wasn't
you
up to me. I got fired.
Uh,
Yeah. But I'm not going back to it, though. That
Right.
option is always there, and I
Right.
thought about it, and it's like, no.
Why?
No.
Why?
Yeah. I know
Right.
why.
Yeah.
It's for suckers.
Right, exactly. I'm saying, why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you? That's what I mean.
I wish I had that time back. Brake, gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, yell. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you
Get out of my
turn the
way.
lights green? What kind of shade of green are you waiting?
Yeah, it's stressful.
know.
Kind of what we went through getting here today.
Uh-huh. We made it. We made it not like the other week.
Oh,
that
my, I
was
was
fun,
having
though.
growing pains.
All right, so
The
let's do the
final
last.
week. Well, also the sustainability is like how much plastic are you surrounding? There's just a whole Mother Earth thing on that week. Huge Mother Earth thing. I can't wait to talk about Mother Earth more. And our final week in your yantra, go ahead and mark this one. It's pretty special because it's
Socializing and,
and-
celebrating.
and
the
fun point.
Raja point.
your royal point where you feel like you deserve to be a queen or a king or just king of your casa. Just what is it all worth? What is it all for? What is your future vision? If you were to do this again next season, do you see yourself spiraling upward, like higher, or do you see possibly where you're not having as much fun as you'd like? You're not really engaged when you're trying to have fun. And it's a big thing. There's so
I think
many
you can
people.
go both ways too with socialization. Some people might need to step back from being so social
Yeah.
in order to have more fun
Yeah,
and
I
enjoy
had to do that
themselves.
too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of clutter in my life that I had to kind of slough.
Celebration's a huge one, when we
Oh,
can learn how to
celebrating,
celebrate everything. And
Yeah.
I'm big on that. I mean, it's huge. I've learned, that you can celebrate everything, even things that most others think you should suffer. If you can celebrate it, it's amazing what happens.
Because the only way to celebrate is really to have gratitude for everything.
Absolutely.
And it just, at this point, you've lost weight, you're sleeping better, you're having better tantra moments.
Self-love.
You're just expressing your beauty and you're expressing your discipline, and it's just an all around wonderful thing. And it's so right now perfect for the season. So, okay, so now you got to look at your scores. So George,
Oh, do I have to do math?
no, you just have to connect the dots. And the closer you are to a circle, the better. But if you're kind of looking like a bad asteroid or a star,
Like connect the ones that are the same number?
yeah, just,
Is it-
well, no, they're
You
just
go from 1 to 2 to 3,
just
right?
connect the dots. Just draw a line,
Oh.
dot to
Oh.
dot, dot to dot. So, audience, if you
Explain
drew
that,
this,
yeah.
you should be drawing this in a circle. Take the course; it'll be easier then.
Take the course.
So, let me see if George has got a circle.
It's an amoeba,
Let me put my glasses on.
kind of.
George is pretty good. Yeah, this is not bad.
I don't want to be braggy, but this is it's just a matter of
Yeah.
timing that I'm in a good spot right now. But this is just recent. I can't brag. Like even a year ago, I was a mess. I would say I was just angry,
Well,
medicating
we're
with
all
alcohol.
we're all one hot mess. We are just all dealing with something.
I agree.
Dealing with the anger thing. Not that there aren't bouts, but now I'm dealing with it the correct way, and I'm certainly not punishing myself. I'm rewarding myself. I respond to the
beautiful.
anger by taking a nap or.
But you're recognizing that you're
riding
angry.
my
That's
bike.
huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that I always because I have
The
a show
course is
too,
great for anger management.
and I always tell people. Because people say, "Oh, cheer up," or "Oh, you got to let that go," and this and that, and I go, "Oh, I wish I'd have thought of that because I really want to be walking around angry right now. I'm choosing this." I go, "Oh,
let it go."
if people could
Let
choose
it
how they
go.
felt, there would be no therapists or."
Absolutely.
Or yoga, or any of these courses like you're doing. It's who would choose to be sad or angry, and
Or suffer.
and if you did choose,
suffer.
if that was your choice, then that's what makes you happy because you're choosing it. So either
Absolutely.
way, it's like I don't want to be angry, but I am dealing with it better now. The things where I got low scores. If you want to talk about that, is the goals and obstacles. I'm still, there's still a lot of variables going on there, especially with I have several revenue streams. Each of them are inconsistent, and I want to make them consistent because that's what I used to have
Right.
when I used to commute every hour. The consistent paycheck,
Right.
And
It's a big
I
difference.
wouldn't be able to have all of these options that I have if I weren't doing this, that, and some other things too. So, I'd like to have those things be stable. And the sustainability and everything, Catherine is really being
Brilliant.
a positive influence. I keep telling stories of things that I'm doing. I have a new one. I have a new Catherine influencing me story.
I love these
Let's hear it.
stories.
Because I'm eating a lot of salads now since I'm trying to eat less just meat and animal fat and everything. But I don't want to eat carbs and I don't want to eat legumes. They make me fart. and
After 2 weeks ago,
but I love salads. I like kind of what am I going to put in my salad and buying a whole bunch of things. And I love ginger dressing. This is my new thing. By the way, I was buying some oil and vinegar, and I didn't buy the plastic bottled.
Yeah.
So I went for more expensive
She's big on
glass.
plastic. She
Glass, no
get it,
glass.
get-
So
get
that's
it out of
off
the
the list.
system.
But now
Does she
I'm-
have? Do you have the bowl?
I have lots of.
The bowl and the chopsticks? That was
We
huge
carry
too.
we
No,
carry
but
our
I-
own dishes. We carry our own dishes. And
I mean, I have a big salad bowl that I make my own. I buy the ingredients and then I toss my own salad. But here's the thing: I love ginger dressing. That's one of my favorite parts of going to like an Asian restaurant or something. The ginger dressing, and it's expensive and you don't get a lot. So I'm going to make my own ginger dressing because Catherine, showed me, gardening and making your own is even better than buying dressing in a glass
That's
container.
also the week on sustainability.
I have a blender. I have a blender, and I can put the things that I want in there because ginger dressing has a lot of sugar and a lot of all these other things that I don't really need. The nitrates and the preservatives that
Do you
they
put
put in
agave
there.
or something for sweetness? I like to put
gonna
sweetness
put
in my dressings. Honey or agave.
and-
I'm going to give you honey from my bees,
And
baby.
there's a sweet vinegar that I like. That's a sweet, balsamic vinegar that I'm going to flavor it with that. But honey, I'm just going to use honey,
Yep.
and soy sauce and lots of ginger.
It feels so good when you
oil.
make your own food. I mean, it
Yeah.
just does.
And the thing is that when all these things start changing, you just get into harmony with the earth vibe, with the seasons, with Mother Nature, and with your more primordial self. And then you become much more efficient at the emails and at the technology. It's like it's a fine tuning, but it's in a primitive way, because all these basic things that we've done in this sacred geometry is a reflection of our inner world, and
Absolutely.
seeing
It's all
ourselves
connected.
clearly, seeing where we personally sabotage ourselves. And it's just mind-blowing, because when we get this connection, this earth force from the seasons, from each other, and then when we really look at not just goal setting, but what's in our way of our goals, or what we are drawn to, we find out so much more. In fact, why don't we take a break right now and hear a little bit more about a woman who really impressed me. Sharon turned me on to this video. I think I mentioned that last class, but this woman was named Little Grandma through her elders, but she's a trip because she was born a Mormon, and she believes in the same way I do about how powerful earth is and this energy that we use throughout the course.
And this is just a clip from it, so
Yeah.
I recommend highly that you watch the whole, the whole thing.
It's on
You get
YouTube.
it's on
It's
YouTube.
called what?
Little Grandmother, but it's a certain link. Maybe somehow we can get the link, because there's a lot of Little Grandmother
We can
on
put the
there.
link on the show
Okay.
description.
That would be great.
Ready?
There we
Roll
go.
It's true. You sat here just 10 minutes ago and said you had Don Alejandro sitting in this chair not too long ago.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the whole Mayan civilization right now.
Yeah.
Do you know that the elders, including him, all the grand elders on our planet right now, are saying that the humankind, to heal our planet and heal ourselves, have one thing and one thing only to do: be love. They are not asking us to go protest our government. They're not asking us to go rally on the streets. They're not asking us to do anything. They're asking us to be love. When you act in love, when you feel love, when you are grateful, your energy rises as high as it can go. Gratitude is the highest energy you can achieve on planet Earth, followed by love. And when you're feeling love and gratitude, you literally change the consciousness on our planet, and you change your own energy. When that happens, you are in synchronicity with Mother Earth, with the plants, with the animals, with your brothers and sisters, and in love, you will change the world. If you think of America right now spending $70 billion a year on warfare, $70 billion. Think about those leaders for 1 year living in love. What could they do for our planet? In just 1 year, they could change everything on our planet. They could feed all the hungry in 1 year's time. But because ego is ruling our world, we keep destroying her, because we don't have a love relationship with her. But when we feel love and we act in love, we do the right thing. We treat each other respectfully. Living in love is the answer. Being love truly is the answer to changing our world.
Change the world, take the course, and love Mother Earth more. It's just mind-blowing, and I'm so inspired by her words. Yeah, and it really is true. When you start seeing Mother Earth and you feel connected, and you start seeing the difference in yourself. And that's why I'm just so honored to have Sharon here. Sharon's history as a yogi and as a human being is amazing. You guys share a couple of wonderful parenting challenges. She has a beautiful. This show is dedicated to Layla. Hi, Layla.
Right here.
So actually, I'm going to have Sharon. Would you mind telling me first your yoga history, and then how having a child, changed your life, and how you see?
Jeez, you sure you want to go into that?
Spill it, sister.
Sure, because I had
Tell
a
us
pretty
everything.
special situation.
Yeah, that's why. And
Well,
We talked about George's last week, so go ahead. Whatever you want to talk about. I'm just so honored you're here.
I'm so
glad.
happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here, baby. Really. Got lipstick on you.
That's okay.
I don't wear it very often. I had to wear it for Catherine's show.
It is on YouTube.
I came to Miami Beach in 1991, and I started going up to the Fontainebleau at that time, and I took my first yoga class. And I had no idea. I just thought it was like a fitness class. You know, it made me feel good. It was, you know, what it was. I stretched. I had no idea. And I kept practicing here and there, and I met all these other people that started practicing more and more. And I was actually going to a class up on the roof of the Delano.
Oh, I remember.
And I
Those
used
are
to think,
beautiful classes.
and I was taking classes there, and I thought, my God, this woman has the best job in the world. She teaches yoga up on top of the roof of this hotel overlooking the ocean. I would love this job. And it's so funny in retrospect, you know, how we can create our reality. But she came to me one day, I don't know, a little while later at some thing I was at, some yoga thing. And you okay? Here. And
Eat water.
she said, have you been practicing? And I just kind of looked at her. I didn't really understand what she meant. It took a little while for me to understand what she meant, that yoga was this practice. And at that same time, all these other beautiful goddesses were practicing with this person who they kept telling me I had to meet. They kept saying, you got to meet this guy, Wayne. He's going to kick your butt. And I'm thinking, well, why would I want to go meet somebody who's going to kick my butt? Like, I really could not figure this out, but they were doing this practice, and I was doing this practice with them. And the very first time I finally got to this person's studio who I was told I had to meet, we walk up there. I'm so excited. I'm going to have the best yoga class ever, evidently. And he's like, pick up a box and put it in the truck. We're moving. I'm moving. And I just looked at him like, I what? You know, and it was my first initiation into my teacher, who is Wayne Krasner. Yoga was everything. Yoga is everything with him. And it took me a while to get to that point where I understood that yoga is everything. But to get into what happened, I met him. He ended up opening a studio on South Beach. Went to start practicing. I saw the philosophy. He was doing a teacher training. Now, I was a nightclub bartender in South Beach, and I loved it. I mean, you couldn't have told me, you couldn't have paid me $2 million and said, Sharon, in 2 years, you're going to be going to bed at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? And going to bed at 10 o'clock at night. And you're going to be practicing yoga and teaching yoga. I would have laughed in your face. I mean, I really would have just laughed. And so I started practicing. I saw this teacher training he was doing. And what I got interested in has a lot to do with your course, was he had the 8 limbs. And when I read your points, they are very similar to the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. Most people think of Ashtanga yoga as the physical practice. I don't know why you're checking.
Thank you. I don't know.
Do you need the Heimlich?
Catherine,
Need me to Heimlich you?
Catherine, don't joke on us.
This would be great for the ratings.
So the Ashtanga is actually a disciplined practice. The 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga is a way of being, and that's a big thing that I've learned is this way of being in the doing. But at the time, I just realized that that's how I live my life, and I didn't know there was this entire system, an entire philosophy, an entire ancient, wisdom passed down. Look at you, George. You're the best.
I tried
best
telling
host.
you.
But
You are.
no, I mean, but the thing is about yoga, there is a lot of posing in yoga, and I don't mean on the mats. I think that one thing about you, I know you're going to hate when I say this, but you really live it. You really live your yoga.
Are you calling her a poser?
No, the complete opposite.
Well, you asked me about my child, and that had a lot to do with what happened, and I'll go through that quickly. So I ended up doing 4 teacher trainings with Wayne, and in a row, consecutive. And by the second one, I was literally teaching on the roof of the Delano.
Wow.
And that happened through
Manifestation.
Ryan Spielman had been working up there, and he was traveling, and he said, Sharon, can you take a couple classes? And he never came back, and there I was doing what I couldn't believe. And I still was bartending, and I'd leave the clubs and I'd go right to the class in the morning at Wayne's. And then after a while, I just stopped bartending. I stopped smoking cigarettes. That happened naturally. thing about yoga that's amazing is you don't ever have to force. You should.
By the way, kudos to stopping smoking. It's, you know.
Well, my
taking
father,
people out
my
that I know.
grandfather had died of lung cancer. My
Yeah.
father, I was smoking with guilt. And I'll say to anyone right now, if you smoke cigarettes, please keep smoking. Enjoy it and don't feel guilty. If you feel guilty, then you have to do something about it. But it's the guilt that's killing you. It really is. After I quit, I was so angry at myself for all the years I was smoking with such guilt because I quit when I was ready to quit. There was no doubt I was going to quit. I just didn't know it.
No, that's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really
if you're
is. That
smoking,
is.
whatever you do, enjoy it. Do it with love. It makes a difference. It makes a huge difference in how it comes into your body and how it affects your body. And you will stop faster.
If I could quit French fries,
I did.
Quit
With
cigarettes.
her course, I quit French fries, and I still have barely
Yeah.
eaten them. And how long ago was that? I quit French fries. They're the devil. And I work in a place where they make the best French fries. So yeah. So anyway, so 4 years later, I'm doing these teacher trainings. I'm teaching. I got to meet my Sanskrit teacher, Manorma, who I just
She's amazing.
absolutely adore. And
Yeah.
I met some of the greatest people. Wayne gave me a lot of gifts and a lot of teaching where he taught me to bring, if I wanted to learn something or we wanted to learn something, not to go pay and do workshops, but to bring them to you. And that's what we did. So we brought some of the greatest people. Dharma Mitra came to our studio and stayed and taught many times. Many great yogis came. Manorma, I still study
Well,
with
back
Manorma.
in the day, again, we're dating ourselves, but we were South Beach pioneers, and there was not a lot of other yoga, and
No.
everyone was there. It was Madonna and Ingrid. And,
They were coming to the studio.
yeah,
Yep.
but
I
but the
was-
coolest thing was that the yoga people that came through there was pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, very impressive. And Swami Bua was one of my greatest experiences. Wayne, at some point, I had this Firebird. I was the only one with a car. I had a Firebird with which I miss so much. The Firebird was my baby, and I had bought it off the showroom floor in New Jersey. You know, perfect. Right before I moved to South Beach, and I had my Firebird, and we
It was a
would
cool
and,
car.
And he says, "Come on, we're gonna go pick up Swami." I'm like, Swami? Like, where'd you find this
Swami
guy?
and a Firebird.
So we pick up Swami Bua, and he was 115 at the time, a Hatha yoga master. And I never met or had an experience like that in my life. I had the honor of taking care of Swami for 1 month straight with the girls that were with me. Kripa Patra and was there, and Moran and myself. Yeah, we all had a little piece of taking care of Swami.
And didn't he have a cat too?
No,
That
no.
was
Wayne
a-
had cats and
Oh,
gave
okay.
them to me because Swami didn't believe that animal should be domesticated at all.
Oh,
He did not
that
believe
was
it.
it about
Yeah,
Swami and
Swami
the cat.
had some very strict ways, but boy, did I learn a lot from Swami. To be with a Swami is pretty intense, to say the least, and to take care of one for a month is super intense. He knew what each one of us were really good at, and he picked it out like that. He was smarter than anyone, stronger than anyone. Could see better than anyone. I mean, this guy was old, and he was incredible. I could tell stories, but that would be for another show. Really,
We'll have
because
to have you back.
I could tell some great Swami Bua stories. He's one of my biggest inspirations. By staying 1 month with him was something. But what happened
And
was
Manorma too.
Oh, Manorma's
she's
my
just- Now she
inspiration.
travels the world. She's just a wonderful.
I can say that I
person.
brought Manorma to Miami. I can say
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
that's
that's
the
pretty
truth. I did.
impressive.
I brought
Yeah.
Manorma to Miami, and she still comes, and she still comes to Prana Yoga, and I recommend anyone to see her when she's there at Prana
Yeah.
twice a year usually.
We'll put on the blog on
Some links.
CatherineB.com when she's coming back. But anyone that studies yoga, if you really want to get more into your practice, come to one of her workshops.
She
Just-
teaches Sanskrit, and she'll tell you say Sanskrit, not Sanskrit.
Who says Sanskrit?
Who says Sanskrit? So
my
when she-
aunt, we
Well,
laugh.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I
just said it.
Sanskrit,
I'm
yeah.
So when she teaches Sanskrit, you learn the whole yoga philosophy through the language of Sanskrit, and it's super impressive. And to be around her, she's light and fun and bubbly and so unbelievably scholar. She's a
And
scholar.
also, if you, my next, I want to do Jiva Mukti, and I want to go further in that. And I got the handout, and it was all interpreted through her. So she interprets the Bhagavad Gita, and she does
The
all
Yoga
of
Sutras.
these. Yeah, and
all of
her
it.
interpretations are really heartfelt. I mean, when she interprets something, it just always, it's like someone that can read Shakespeare and make it make sense, or you're just sort of left in the dark. But she's really beautiful.
Yeah, well, she studied with
Bringing it
her
life.
teacher, Sri Brahmanama Saraswati. That's who was her guru and her teacher. And
These
she
are going
was
to be
with
great
him.
tag names for you to spell, George.
Yeah.
Can't wait. We got the Google.
Anyway,
Oh.
so I ended up with this great, amazing practice and great, amazing teaching now. And now I'm not bartending and I'm teaching, and
And
happy.
you became such an incredible mother who, with this beautiful Layla. So can you? We only have about 5 minutes left. We should do a 3-hour show on this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Just
tell
quickly,
us-
I had
yeah.
a child. I had a car accident. My Firebird got destroyed.
Which
My-
is the thing she loved.
the most. My daughter came out very sick or premature with heart disease, and I couldn't work, and my whole life turned upside down completely. Like, I could never imagine, and I never realized how really stuck I was with, even with all of the practice I had behind me. I didn't realize how much I was stuck in the, oh, you have to go all natural, and Catherine and I talk about this all the time. Oh, things have to be this way, and if not, you're killing the earth, and you're doing this. And I almost killed my own child, like literally, by not wanting to listen to the doctors, because I was so, there has to be another way, there has to be a natural way, and I didn't want to look at myself, and I didn't want to see how self-righteous I had become and how stuck I had become. And I truly know it's part of the yoga practice, and I went through that. I couldn't physically practice yoga for years, a physical practice again. And that brought guilt upon guilt when you're taught, you have to practice every day. So that's where I learned that the practice isn't the physical. It's not just the physical. And it's so much more than you can imagine. And the practicing every day takes you to that understanding. And the practice
Yeah.
isn't always going to be physical.
Yeah.
And boy, to recognize that we need to embrace everything, like really embrace everything, like little grandmother said. The way to change the world is through love.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be mad and hate and get angry at corporations and this and that, and it's not going to help. War is not going to ever, ever, ever bring peace.
When
Killing
I use the
isn't-
word warriors, Sharon is a powerful warrior, but I'm always talking about warriors of love, and the war is a one fought just internally, and living in peace. But
that's
this is
true.
the one I'm always talking about that we debate, because I'm a
All the time.
warrior, I'm a fighter.
I'm all about warrior, and the fight is within. There's no question
Yeah.
about it. There's, like she said, ego or love. I mean,
Yeah.
really, it becomes that simple. Whenever you talk or make a decision, where is it coming from? And if it's coming from fear and ego, it's going to have a certain consequence
Or
in
if
the
it's
whole
coming-
universe.
Or if it's coming from something you're reading or somebody you're asking or something that's not internal, when you really feel love and gratitude internally and you're not relying on even a religion or anything to bring it in, but just
Absolutely.
your sense of self. It's yoga centers you. Yoga is a big part of the course, but it also centers you into truly loving. Like living your life to a point of tears, which you have done with your beautiful daughter.
Absolutely.
But it has not been easy through all the surgeries and heart. I mean, you were afraid she was going to die for the first.
For 6 years. For 6 years. Yeah, it was always touchy. The first 4.5 months was 50-50 chance every day.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was a tough time, and I grew a lot, and I learned a lot, and I the practice that I teach now, one of the practices I teach, one of my favorite that the students like the most, is called the warrior practice.
Yeah.
That's what I called it, because I had to come back, and once I started being able to move again and breathe in my body again and move, I started doing all these warrior poses.
Yeah.
Which is, pretty tremendous. And I did come out on the other side and I can see myself as a true goddess warrior now. But
Yeah.
man, it takes something. And it's about learning to be in the doing.
You can be in the doing.
To be in the doing, whether you're in heart surgery with your child, whether somebody's dying, whether you're at a car accident, whether you are practicing yoga on the mat, whether you're trying to get in some crazy pose and wrap your feet behind your head. It's about how am I able to be while I'm doing this.
And some of the time you're doing yoga for people that don't do yoga and you don't even know you're doing yoga, because it's a mental process of transition. So
Absolutely.
we got to have Sharon back because we
Yeah.
just tapped into this. So
These some
again,
Swami Bua stories because they're phenomenal and tremendous. And my dear
well,
Ma.
thank you so much for being on the show today. Namaste, my dear. And please, if you're interested in taking the course of webinars, we'll be giving more information next week. George said he's going to do the webinar.
Thank you,
and
George.
CatherineB.com, right? That's where they can find
CatherineB.com.
Your
Yes.
shows, videos, information on webinars,
Be
seminars,
water.
Be Water,
Everything.
all of these things.
Thank you, Sharon, for
Green.
sharing that.
Oh.
And you are a warrior. I love you.
I love you. Thank you for having me. And I want to just make an extra honor to all of the teachers that brought me here to this moment right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Catherine, you're a big one.
Oh,
Thank you, my love.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.